Hello and welcome to this e-CENS video, which is part of our forthcoming online training and is called the Transformation Pathway. In this self-paced training, we're going to show how to improve your analytics so that you can be sure that the data you are collecting is much more accurate and reliable. Hi, I'm Holger Tempel, partner at e-CENS and managing director of e-CENS in Germany. In this section, I'm going to cover some basic knowledge about digital analytics to make sure that we're all on the same page and that we're all talking the same language. In addition, I also want to make clear that everything I'm going to outline here is not bound to Google Analytics. It can be adapted to any web analytics solution. So let's dive in. In order to analyze the success of our website, we have to distinguish between key performance indicators, or KPI, quality metrics, or QM, and helper metrics, or HM. Let's take a look at what a KPI is and what its characteristics are. First of all, our business goals should be translated into KPIs, which means that a KPI is always a metric that measures success. And that means that a significant change in the KPI will also have a significant impact on business success. This leads to the conclusion that a KPI is usually an absolute number, and therefore we should not be tempted to define more than a maximum of 8 to 10 KPIs. A valid example of a KPI is a conversion, regardless of whether it's a transaction or a goal in Google Analytics. A quality metric, on the other hand, is a calculated metric, usually a ratio or an average, and supports the improvement or deterioration of KPIs, which implies that a quality metric can serve as an early warning indicator. Valid examples of quality metrics are bounce rate and average session duration. Helper metrics can represent both calculated metrics or absolute numbers, and therefore be used for forecasts and assumptions only. An important feature of helper metrics is that there is no causal relationship with a change in helper metric to improvement or deterioration in business performance. For example, helper metrics can be the users on our website as an absolute number or the number of pages per session as a calculated metric. Neither of these have a causal impact on the business success if they rise or drop. To illustrate the coherence between quality metrics and KPIs, let's take a closer look at two of the most commonly used and often misinterpreted metrics. At first, let's have a look at the quality metric e-commerce conversion rate. This is calculated by dividing the number of transactions by the number of sessions. Therefore, the e-commerce conversion rate may tell about the probability of a purchase during a session, but it absolutely does not tell anything about sales. The second quality metric we're looking at is average order value. Here we have to keep in mind that it is calculated by dividing the revenue by the number of transactions. Average order value therefore provides information about how much the users spent per order, but it tells absolutely nothing about revenue. So the question that now pops up in our minds is, why is a quality metric not a KPI? To answer this, let's look at the following example. In month 1, we see an e-commerce conversion rate of 5%. In month 2, the e-commerce conversion rate is the same, and in month 3, the e-commerce conversion rate has dropped to 2%. Now, which month was the most successful? And the answer is we cannot tell. Maybe we would tend to say month 1 and 2 were more successful than month 3, but we definitely cannot tell. Let's look at another metric. In month 1, we had an average order value of 70. In month 2, the AOV dropped to 50, and in month 3, the AOV stayed the same. Now again, which month was the most successful in terms of AOV? Here we would tend to say month 1, but we surely cannot tell. The conclusion is that we can't tell anything about the success of the website by examining a quality metric. Therefore, we need additional metrics to evaluate the quality metric. As for the e-commerce conversion rate, we need at least one more part of the equation, for example, the number of sessions, to be able to recalculate the second part of the equation and thus evaluate the numbers. And once we have the number of transactions at hand, we can now use the AOV to recalculate the revenue, which is our KPI. Now, once again, which month was the most successful? So always keep in mind, experience cannot be learned, it must be gathered, and therefore rely on the expert's experience only.